All right, y'all. It's time for the Robert Scott Bell Show, Friday edition. It is the 23rd of January, 2026, first airing. And yeah, I'm still dealing with the debris from the parasite cleanse I was doing, mostly now dumping out my sinuses, my lungs, just to make it so delicious if you're eating lunch right now. No, I'm bad that way. But anyway, I'm not eating, so I can say that. It's fasting day. So great news. My buddy Stuart Tomc is back. He's in studio today in our undisclosed bunker. And then in the second hour, if Stuart wants, he can hang out as long as he wants. And we'll also have Michael Bolden from the 10th Amendment Center letting it rip. It's going to be awesome. What's the ratio of a 6-3? Is it possible having that out of whack can create inflammation of the brain and nervous system, leading to more depression, anxiety, suicide, homicide? I'm just asking. Stuart might be able to chime in on that. Now, I'm going to cut the monologue short because I want to join Stuart on set, and he is here with me, my brother. We're going to play a little video clip of someone talking about seed oils, and so we can also bounce off of that. So get ready. Stuart Thompson studio. Check him out. We'll be together right after this.
What kind of damages are seed oils doing to our bodies?
Seed oils are the root cause of literally every chronic disease. They're the main driver because seed oils promote this state of cellular disorganization and dysfunction called oxidative stress, which pathologists have found and identified as the root cause of literally every single disease. We're talking about the A to Z, from Alzheimer's, cancer, diabetes, obesity, fatty liver, psoriasis. I can't think of a Z, but there's a ton of, literally everything is related to oxidative stress. And the seed oils, what I call the hateful eight, they promote the vast majority of oxidative stress that people eating the typical, what I call a standard American diet, but I guess you must have a different name for it over there in the UK. But people who aren't intentionally avoiding the seed oils are at risk for literally every disease because of oxidative stress.
Well, I've been on this journey for a long time and bringing out, I think, good information, even scientifically, or especially when it's scientifically valid. I love it. And my brother, Stuart Tomc, here in studio.
Hey,
my brother. We've been on this journey for so long, decades, in fact. And bring that microphone a little closer to you as well as we crank up the show today. I'm so grateful for you. And just so you know, folks, Stuart, for those of you who are new, we've been working in the same industry for decades. And he's always brought education to the forefront in an engaging and an entertaining way. In fact, over the years, as we go out and people talk about the circuit that we were on, they would always mention you and then me. Like, you guys are the best. Now, we're not tooting our own horn here. I'm just saying when I'm trying to brag about Stuart because he's so engaging and believes so much in the quality of the information and making sure that he's relating the right stuff that, like I said, he has saved my wife's life by introducing the whole cannabidiol concept, the endocannabinoid system. That's how we got connected on all of that. In fact, a lot of what I got in Unlock the Power to Heal, when we expanded it to include cannabis information, was helped into being because of Stuart. So Stuart, welcome back to the Robert Scott Bell Show in studio. How do you like it?
It's incredible. I'm so glad to be in the secret bunker, undisclosed location.
Yes.
You don't need to know where we are, but Robert, I love you so much. You've been a hero to me, a friend and inspiration. And when you speak in public, you know how I like to be in the front row to take notes.
Yes. No, I know. I always feel good. Stuart's there. I know I'm going to get that energy to pump me up even further. So again, a lot of things to talk about today. One is the video we just watched about the omega-6s. And of course, they get a horrible rap, maybe justifiably so. Maybe it's a little extreme. I don't know. I know you're going to parse that. Also, the loss of good people like Professor Duesberg. And I want to acknowledge these.
Yes.
I call them scientific giants because they never let money sway them. They're like, this is what I see. You guys are and he never got turned down for a grant. He was the youngest member ever elected to the National Academy of Sciences when he was first elected.
Wow.
Never a grant turned down. But the moment he started questioning the HIV causation hypothesis of AIDS, couldn't find a grant to save his life. And they tried to drum him out. The only thing that saved him is he had tenure at UC Berkeley.
Well, rest in peace.
Yeah.
He was a hero of yours, I know.
Very much so.
And you had him on so many times.
Yeah, I know. This is the thing when I say, just like you, and you talk about some of the giants in the realm where you operate, and how you now can call them friends. It's the most surreal thing, but the awesomest thing too.
Yeah, that's the best part.
Yeah.
Not being a competing academic or a clinician, we got to meet.
We can appreciate them for all that they're doing. Yeah, yeah. And expound on them like you do as well. I take a lot of the scientific people and their articles and try to make them accessible for the lay audience too.
Yeah, well, that was our job, edumatainment, right? And that's where it's at. And now everyone has ChatGPT or Grok or Perplexity, whatever you're using. And I don't know if you're doing this, but I'm just feeding the data in there constantly and just to build a better understanding. And at the end of the day, it's about how do we translate it to the people, right? It has to be practical. It can't just be ivory tower.
Well, yeah, if it doesn't land, what are we doing? Right. And that's the thing. I don't like that science is held out for just the elitist within the fields. And I think that the scientists, maybe they not used to, a lot of them, talking to the lay audience because they're usually trading papers and information amongst themselves. And then it has been our task to take that information and say, we got to tell the world this is too important.
Yeah, I was on the phone the other day with one of the leading omega-3 specialists in the world, former NIH, Joe Hibbelin, MD. I've told you about him many times.
He's on the ASIP committee.
He is.
Hibbelin, yeah.
Yeah, and we were talking the other day. He said these things don't exist in a vacuum, right? We've got the ivory tower information, and then what do we do to help people?
Yeah.
So that's what our job is. We're the interface.
Yeah, exactly. Now, let's dive into the omega-6/3 ratio stuff. That's what you introduced to us beyond all the omega-3 stuff you had done for decades prior. And we took, one of these, let's see if this is the balance test, the balance oil, right? And I did it on the air. Super Don still makes fun of me like I was crying like a little girl. I didn't want to bleed, right? And then I found that ratio, I think was 21-1 and went to like 3.9-1 over the course of doing it. And my wife was like 15-1. She went down to like 2.9-1. She got in the range too, but pretty fascinating story that we hadn't heard about ratios. So if you want to reintroduce that, and also in reference to the little video clip Super Don played before we brought you in here, because I think there's some parse and some nuance here.
Yeah, there's a lot of nuance here. I enjoyed watching the video. Yeah, I'm allergic to oversimplification. My mentors, the person I have to always mention is William E. Lands, PhD. He wrote Fish Omega-3 and Human Health. I mean, he's the godfather of the omega-6/3 balance. And these are the three memes, and we'll unpack them, that his protege, Joe Hibbelin, came up with. Number one, nix the 6 and eat the 3. Nix the 6 and eat the 3. So we just watched a video saying pretty much don't eat any seed oils at all. We're going to unpack that. Nix the 6 and eat the 3. You didn't hear that in the video. Okay. Number 2, the tissue is the issue. That's why that test is all that matters. Who cares what the published research says? It's the ratio of omega-6 to omega-3 in the tissue. The tissue is the issue. And number 3, which factors are the actors? So we'll unpack that. This is what Dr. Joe Hibbelin taught me. Meme first, explain later. All right, so let's go through nix the 6 and eat the 3. That video basically just said that all seed oils and all omega-6s are the devil.
Yeah, it's never that easy.
It would be beautiful if it was.
Yeah, it's just like, come on. Is there no place in life for omega-6s in the body and human metabolism, animal metabolism?
Well, let's go back to what it is. It is an essential fatty acid. So people hear essential, they're not so sure what it means. Okay, I remember asking William E. Lands, Dr. Lands, what does essential mean? He says it means that when we starved the animals of omega-6, they got sick and they died. Your body doesn't make them. They are structural components of every single cell membrane of your 37 trillion cells. You make 300 billion cells a day. If you have no omega-6 and they're part of that lipid bilayer, they're hundreds, if not 1,000 fatty acids in total, you're in trouble. Now, they also help to lower cholesterol. They help with heart function. I mean, it's an essential fatty acid. It's critical for life. Now, omega-6 is only toxic to the degree that it exceeds omega-3 in the tissue, which is the issue.
Yeah, where you come back around to going, why do I say that? Why do you say that? And, one thing you can probably comfortably say is that most people who have done the test have, from the West, or particularly here in America, way high on the 6 compared to the 3. So far out that it's just, yes, then omega-6 becomes a problem.
No, and that's what's going on. If you're eating about 10% of our energy in America from soybean oil, that doesn't leave a lot of room on your plate to eat pickled herring. That's the issue. So that's why it's nix the 6 and eat the 3. And so there are 2 numbers on that test, on the balance test, that you need to look out for. One is called the AA-EPA ratio. What is that? That's the arachidonic acid eicosapentaenoic acid ratio, the AA-EPA ratio. The second is the omega-3 index. Remember that term from 20 years ago? Clemens von Schacke and Bill Harris, they coined the term the omega-3 index. That's the percentage of EPA and DHA in the red blood cell. So here's what we're looking for. We want an AA-EPA ratio of 3-to-1, 2-to-1, and 1-to-1. And I'm going to show you an easy way to explain it. And an omega-3 index of higher than 8. That's what you want. Now, if you get there by not eating seed oils and by eating more fish, great. If you get there through supplementation, that's great. Even if it's algae, let's say that you're a vegan and you eat flax meal all the time. The tissue is the issue. So here's the new way, Robert, I was waiting to be on the show to share this with you. Here's the new way to explain it, okay? Imagine your left fist is omega-6. It's essential. Your body doesn't make it. It produces the largely pro-inflammatory hormone-like compounds, the eicosanoids, that Super Don pointed out in his incredible omega-3 song.
Yeah, we're going to play that, by the way, at the end of the show today.
So people can hear. So omega-6, essential, making the largely pro-inflammatory hormone-like compounds. Right fist. Omega-3, essential. Your body doesn't make it. When we starve the animals of it, they die. It makes the largely anti-inflammatory hormone-like compounds and things called the specialized pro-resolution lipid mediators that resolve inflammation. Here's the trick. You want AA and EPA. You want those to be 2-to-1. 1-to-1 is perfect. 3-to-1 is still passing. 4-to-1 is failing. Let's do it again. 1-to-1 is perfect. 2-to-1 is passing. 3-to-1 is passing. 4-to-1 or higher is failing. The average person in America is 25-to-1 AA to EPA. I go like this, staying alive, ha, ha, not staying alive. It's a problem. And they have an omega-3 index of around 3, and you want your omega-3 index to be about 8. Now, Robert, we didn't know this the way we know it now when we first started talking about it.
Good Lord.
And it cuts through the noise, doesn't it?
Oh, so much so. And, you know, I've always told the story about how when I first learned about fats, it was Udo Erasmus going back decades. We're talking the 1990s. He was coming out in the early 2000s. And I did his vegetarian Udo's oil, right? And for me, it was a huge leap because I had never embraced fat because it was always margarine, motor oil, right? We grew up in that. Stay away from fats.
That was bad for sure. The trans fatty acids, we had to get those out.
And so I was leaping and bounding. I remember it was like one of those significant milestones beyond going organic when I started to see the change. But when I put some different kind of healthy fats in me, I was like, what the
Now, that's good energy. But to be fair, and I spoke to Udo Erasmus about this about a year ago. And I said to him, we want 3-to-1, 2-to-1, or 1-to-1. He said to me, hey, Stuart, that's the ratio in the Udo's oil. I said to him, but what about your blood, dude?
Yeah, where's it getting?
Do you want to take a test to find out if what you've been selling is working for all these years? And so what I love about this is we can cut through the noise. We know the biomarker now. We know that the tissue is the issue. Robert, what you get from that test, this is a big statement, is the most important number for health and longevity that you don't know that you will know. It's the next chapter in the lipid story, right? Ansel Keys was wrong. Saturated fat isn't the driver of coronary vascular disease. How can we prove this? Because statins are the #1 selling drug in the history of the world. People's cholesterol is where they want it or lower, and CVD is still the #1 killer.
Correct.
So what's missing? This is the next most important biomarker. Watch it. It's going to be like vitamin D, like David. Remember how it was only on your milk carton when you were a kid? When I worked at Sherwin's Health Food Store, I don't know if you remember, that's where I started in 1988. It was on the bottom shelf. Now, what do they say? You got to have vitamin D. But how much do you need? The right amount in the blood. What I like about this test is you prick your finger, drop, drop. My first score was 13-to-1. Now you were 22-to-1.
21-to-1 or something like that.
But think of this. I was fish face. Okay. I was the spokesperson for Nordic Naturals.
You were doing loads of omega-3
I got Ultimate Omega for free. I'm taking it hand over fist and I failed. So that goes to the third meme. Which factors are the actors? We'll get there before we're done. But I want everyone to know, when you see a video like that that's hyperbolic about seed oils, please finish the sentence. She's telling you to nix the 6. I'm saying eat the 3. The omega-6s that are in avocados, are those bad for you? No. Are the omega-6s in walnuts bad for you? No. And so I think there's gross oversimplification.
Sure.
I'm glad that we're getting closer, but we're still not there. If you don't test, in fact, that woman that did the video, she meaning well, she's probably a doctor or a scientist. I want to know what her omega-6-3 ratio is and her omega-3 index.
Right.
That's what we should be teaching people.
Well, and for me, as I said, I wasn't consistent for a while until I got in the habit of taking the Zinzino, which we'll get into.
Right, but you took the test. It reminded you.
Yeah.
And with as smart as you are, I think I told you the other day, you probably have a 200 IQ. You don't even know it. Guess what? It doesn't matter if you're scoring 22 to 1. Now let's explain what that means for people, because I get a little animated. So the cell membrane, you know that the cell membrane has these highly unsaturated omega-6s called arachidonic acid. And they create these pro-inflammatory signals. They're important. They clot your blood if you cut yourself. They increase sensitivity to pain. Ouch, so you know not to do it. Omega-3s, EPA, antagonize the omega-6 arachidonic acid. So what we're talking about is the ratio of omega-6 to omega-3 of the highly unsaturated fatty acids. So that's upstream. Listen to this. This measurement is a proxy for systemic inflammation, because the red blood cells turn over every 120 days. That's what we're measuring when we prick your finger. Now, this test is more accurate than a vein puncture. A plasma test shows you what you ate a couple of days before. It's like a blood sugar test. This is like a long-term A1C test.
Nice.
So what it's
hold that up for everybody to see it.
What it's reflecting, what this test is reflecting, is every tissue and every organ in your body. Why? The red blood cells come online out of the bone marrow. We can't affect the 120-day-old red blood cells. They're already made.
Yeah, so you're testing something from 4 months ago or 3 months ago. You know, exactly.
That's why you take the test at baseline, and then you test after 120 days. So I went from 13 to 1 to 3 to 1. You went from 22 to 1,
21 to 1 to 3.9
to 3.9 to 1.
And you know, I wasn't. And I just say this again. I wasn't as religious about it like I should have been. I was missing some days here and there. I was kicking myself every time, and I was trying to help Super Don remember too. But I also remember, because the awareness of the first test, I was severely curtailing my inflow of omega-6s.
Right. So you were nixing the 6, but you weren't eating enough 3.
Right. But again, I eventually got there, and I saw what it would have been had I been doing it more consistently. With Nancy, my wife, who tested a little better than me, 15 to 1, and she got down. She was more hardcore on taking the oil every day, the Zinzino stuff, and not as hardcore on the 6 reduction.
But she got down to a lower omega-6-3 ratio than you did. My wife, the exact same situation. She's a cancer survivor. It's an incredible story. You've been with us through the whole journey. She scored just recently 1.8 to 1.
Wow.
So when I call it a proxy for systemic inflammation, if you care about your health, if you know any of your biomarkers and you don't know your AA-EPA ratio and your omega-3 index, you're missing out. So nix the 6 and eat the 3. There was a guy online, I can't remember his name. He's a young MD. He's in the sardine challenge. Do you remember I was the original sardine guy?
Yes.
Way before this was trendy. He was eating, I think, 3 cans of sardines, maybe 4 a day. He got 16 on his omega-3 index.
Amazing.
So when I hear fish oil doesn't work, you know what's important is the tissue is the issue, whether you eat fish or you take products.
Well, and that goes into the question of what it is about the formulation that allows for full utilization of what we want to get into.
Well, that's which factors are the actors.
Right.
That's the third meaning.
I want to get into that. If you don't, unless we want to talk about the test itself, because we have introduced this a few times over the years that you've been doing this, and a lot of people have gotten benefit. Some were like confused by, they went to the testomega3.com site and had some, what's going on here. So we want to make sure everybody knows what's going on.
Let me just unpack that. You know, I'm an independent distributor of these tests. I'm working with a Scandinavian life science company because I found the laboratory that I wanted to work with. Vitas Analytical Services, third-party independent laboratory. They flew me out there to Norway to inspect it. It's got the largest database in the world of these tests. You know, I'm brand agnostic, Robert. I don't care what the brand is. It's whatever works best for the patients.
Yes.
So I have also my own business with Vicky Southard, my dear friend and publicist, testomega3.com. And you can learn all about what we're doing there. But people went there and then they went to order their test and they clicked the link and it took them to Zinzino,
Right.
to fulfill the order for them, because that's how, and I think people got confused. So if you went to testomega3.com and you didn't think it was testomega3.com, we've made some updates to the website. I just checked with Vicky before we went live.
Okay, cool.
So we're totally set. I beseech you, get tested. If you get tested and then you get on the balance oil, what good is the problem if we don't have a solution?
We want to resolve it. Yeah, exactly.
We have a very special offer that we're going to unpack today because we just released a brand new at-home fingertip test. And for the first 10 people that order the balance oil and the test kit, we're going to give them a $200 gut test.
Wait a second.
For free.
How are we going to monitor that? Is that like going to testomega3.com and signing up?
Yeah.
Right away. Okay. As of the first airing of this show, 23rd, here, let me just go, let's see if I can do this. I got to manage everything. Here I am. So the 23rd of January, 2026 is the first airing. So it could be very quick with all the people that watch the show. The first 10 people, I don't know how to determine it. You'll have to do it.
Yeah.
Go to testomega3.com, sign up for the test and, get the, I guess, how do they get the oil as well? I just want to be sure.
Yeah, I'll explain what the whole deal is so everyone knows the economics of this, okay?
Yeah.
So the test is $180 retail. I'm a Zinzino independent partner, so you're going to get it for $115.
Okay.
Okay. The oil is $70 retail. We're going to give you a bottle of balance oil for free.
Okay, good.
So you get the test and the oil for $115.
Okay.
If you pass the test the first time,
yes,
it's rare, but it happens, you get all your money back.
Wow. Okay.
And
Challenge
you get to keep the oil. I've had some people pass.
Sure.
You know why? Because the tissue is the issue.
Yeah.
Right. It doesn't matter about the mousetrap. Then it's only $45 a month for the balance oil. This is the next generation omega-3 product. We'll unpack this. Shipping and handling is refunded to the customers, right? So they can get those as rewards.
Okay.
And on the 5th month, you get your second $180 test for free.
Okay, so after you've done the 4 months, you can do that secondary test.
You get it for free. So you're getting $400 worth of product, 72% off, $115 for Robert Scott Bell listeners.
Cool, thank you.
But for the first 10 people that order, we're going to give away our new gut health test, which we're going to unpack.
We're going to talk about too, yes. So this is great. Now I want you to come back to the which factors are the actors.
Oh, yes.
Maybe that can help explain why. You have been the biggest proponent of omega-3 fish oils for decades too.
Yes, and I oversimplified it.
Well, yeah, and at the same time, there were benefits, but to go to this level, we're like, what are we missing? We found out we're missing something.
Yes, Professor Paul Clayton, if you're not yet familiar with his work, Paul Clayton, PhD, he's 75 years old. He coined the term pharmaconutrition. I think he's the leading mind in nutrition today. He was in Edinburgh and then at Oxford with Sir Michael Crawford. So he has a blog, and the blog article, and I'm sure Super Don can find it, Algae to Omega. So it's Paul Clayton's blog, from algae, A-L-G-A, spelling it like the Brits, right? From the alpha to the omega, the beginning to the end. He taught me that when the Inuit ate whale blubber, and that started it. That was called the Inuit paradox. We called them Eskimos back then. We don't do that anymore, right?
Yeah.
The Inuit paradox. They were eating whale blubber. The Danish scientists went up there. They drew their blood. Their cholesterol was higher than the Danes, and they had the lowest levels of coronary vascular disease in the world. This started the omega-3 story.
Yeah.
The first paper in 1971, Bang and Dyerberg.
Yeah.
They tested the blood. They had high levels of EPA and low levels of AA. That's what we're measuring. But there was something missing. The antioxidants in algae. You see, fish don't make omega-3.
Yeah.
They bioaccumulate it from algae. So when the Inuit ate the whale blubber, they were eating fluorotannins, that's with a P, polyphenols that wrap around the EPA and DHA that move through the trophic levels of the fish. So when the whales ate the small fish ate the krill that ate the algae. It's like a Dr. Seuss book.
Right.
And it was the polyphenols that bioaccumulate the omega-3 and ensure they get into the tissue, which is the issue. So here's the big fat mistake that I made, and I have to atone for my sin here. I was just at the restaurant where you sent me to where you can get raw milk.
Yes. Right.
Okay. Now, purified fish oil is like homogenized and pasteurized milk. You strip out all of these nutrients. You got to put vitamin A, vitamin D, and calcium back in for it to be worth anything. So here's the dirty little secret of the omega-3 world, and it's a dirty secret. You kept hearing, we remove mercury, PCBs, dioxins, fire retardants. Well, then you also strip out the antioxidants. So does this sound familiar, Robert? Ascorbic acid crystals is not the same as food, is it?
Right. No, not at all. And you know, you get the cut off the nose to spite the face. It's like, we don't want those nasty things in there, but in the process of removing them, you end up with a product that is not what you think it is. And the end result is what you saw.
It's denatured.
Yeah.
It's now, to be fair, because you know how much I love science, there are 3 FDA approved fish oil drugs. I know, oh, FDA. Okay. But 3 FDA approved drugs, and the World Health Organization, boo, they have a list of life-saving drugs. Okay.
By the way, we've just pulled out of the WHO.
Okay, so but they do have a list of life-saving drugs.
Sure.
So
and we reference some things that are good, but I guess the point of that is, like, where do we find scientific integrity in all of this, right? Because there's so much industry influence at every level of so much of the science that we'd like to say that's legit. Who's paying for it? We still have to ask those questions.
But this time, someone took fish oil. This is the second FDA-approved fish oil drug, so that should tell you something. Someone took fish oil. They purified the daylights out of it, concentrated it, but they gave people enough.
Okay.
4,000 milligrams of EPA is the fish oil drug. On top of statins, for patients that have had a heart attack or are type 2 diabetics that still have elevated triglycerides. It lowered major adverse coronary events by 25%. Don't tell me that doesn't work. That's the biggest thing since statins.
Right.
Now, we don't want that. That's not our patient population. Our job is to keep healthy people healthy.
Yeah.
And that's what I love about this. So getting back to the fish oil fiasco, that's what I call it, the dirty secret. When you remove mercury, you strip out the antioxidants in nature, the cofactors that work with the EPA and DHA, not only to protect it in the bottle, but to protect it in your body. So check this out. Purified fish oils that we've all been taking probably deplete your glutathione. When you take balance oil, where they put the polyphenols back in, this is oily fish in liquid form. I call it a Mediterranean diet in a bottle. Professor Clayton called it an Inuit diet in a bottle. I said, no one's going to know what that means. Okay. By putting the polyphenols back in there, we're creating the appropriate molecular package in nature so that it gets into the gut more effectively and into the tissue more effectively. So in my case, I went from 13-1 with Nordic Naturals down to 3-1 with this. Now, I didn't change my background diet. You know me. I like French fries.
Yes.
Now remember that. I'm not embarrassed about that.
Although, did you get French fries with your meal today?
I did not.
Oh my gosh.
I know they're great French fries there. I saw, but I had the potatoes.
Okay.
Okay. But here's what happened. When I got my 3-1 score and I didn't change my background diet, I stopped ordering the French fries. Why? Nix the 6.
Right.
And eat the 3. So if you're going to eat your French fries, eat them with sardines.
Yeah. Or make sure that they're fried in something like saturated fat type oil.
Oh, yeah. At this point, I'm very happy that we're going back to some of the saturates.
And the place I was telling you about, organic coconut oil.
Right. Now, the only caveat there as a lipid lover is if you have both of the alleles for APO, if you're APO4E, like my wife is, she was on the bulletproof train and eat coconut fat and the butter all day long. And she gained weight like a...
Well, and that's the point of nuance, right?
There's always nuance.
Right. And this is where I said the other day about Dr. Peter McCullough, Peter. Great guy's come a long way since the COVID thing. As one of the most published, if not the most published cardiologists on planet Earth. And he spoke out against initially the COVID shots. And then he came out and started looking at all of the shots and going, there really isn't a valid scientific study that shows safety or efficacy for one or all of them together. And so kudos to him for, as a physician, to go, you know what? I didn't know. I never looked into it. Now they're looking into it. Oh my gosh. And he's saying, my grandkids, when I have grandkids, I'm going to tell, don't get any of them. I'm like, wow, that's a significant statement. Now, you saw recently the food pyramid got flipped upside down.
Yes.
Yeah. And most people are enthusiastic overall about, if they're not into the industry of all the refined stuff. But Peter McCullough, as a cardiologist, says, I'm a little worried because it's too heavy on saturated fats.
Yes.
I still find saturated fats in the thing. The nuance is what you're saying.
Yes, and the nuance is if you have too many saturates at the expense of the highly unsaturated fatty acids, if you're testing 8 or higher in your omega-3 index and you've got an AA-EPA ratio of 3-to-1, 2-to-1, or 1-to-1, then keep eating saturated fats as you are. And that's the nuance here.
Yeah.
And that's why I love you so much and I love this show. And I hope the audience understands. We now know that if you can go from, say, 2 on your omega-3 index to 8, just this is easy to visualize. The average person is scoring at 2 to 4. From 2 to 8, that correlates to a 70% reduction in risk of all-cause mortality.
Yeah.
Let that sit in for a moment.
Yeah. When you get the Ultimate Omega that we used to utilize, right, from Nordic, how much would that cost a month to do that? That was a pricey product.
Yeah, that was more expensive than this.
Yeah.
That's why I'm working with this company.
Yes.
Because here's what I figured out. After 30 years in the space, tell me if you think I'm wrong. Everyone would like to prick their finger if it's a more accurate test that they can do at home without a vein puncture, without seeing a doctor. And they would like the highest quality products at the lowest price sent to their front door. Do you agree with that?
Absolutely. Yes.
Okay, so not only was Nordic more expensive, but if you read the label, we used to put vitamin E in there, which isn't bad. And
Was it used to preserve it?
yeah, and rosemary, yes.
Yeah.
And so what happened is it was stable in the bottle. It wasn't stable in the body. I said purified fish oils may deplete our glutathione. There's evidence that when you combine the polyphenols back with the EPA and DHA, that you can increase glutathione peroxidase, the enzyme that makes glutathione, by 3x. So getting back to the whale blubber, this is more like oily fish in liquid form.
Yeah. Well, this is which factors are the actors.
Yes. Which factors are the actors?
So this is, helping me round out my understanding what's happening and what has happened to me by utilizing this every month. So, anything else you want to say about the test itself or going to omega-3, testomega3.com, because we don't want anybody confused about it like last time. That's why we're here again. And I think you're laying it out beautifully and directly. So those that want to try it out.
Yeah, I want you to get tested if you care about your health. I know that sounds hyperbolic, but if you follow any of your biomarkers, and let's be fair, Robert, some people don't.
Yeah.
If for them, it's all energy. It's all intuition, but I'm working with some Qigong masters right now that thought they could get the omega-6-3 balance into balance with energy medicine. And they tested themselves and other people. And you know what they found out?
Didn't work.
No, there's mind, body, and spirit.
Yes.
Right? So which factors are the actors, right? You can pray and meditate as much as you want.
Yeah.
You're as healthy as anyone I've ever met. You were 22 to 1.
Yeah.
That doesn't mean you were bad. That means you were out of balance.
Out of balance, yeah.
And that's what we want as people to be in balance. So that's why I want everyone to take the test. And the first 10 people that order, I call it the test in the bottle.
Yeah.
We're going to give them our brand new leaky gut, I call pre-leaky gut health test.
Well, you'll have to let me know probably next week or maybe sooner when you hit that 10 threshold so I can let everybody know. Right. Okay. But I still want people to do it, but take advantage of it. Jump on it. Right.
Oh yeah. You get, it's the best deal in town.
Yeah.
But I just wanted to have a special offer being in the bunker.
Thank you.
We just made this brand new gut health test.
Let's talk about it. Yeah.
We built this in-house. Okay. The omega-3 test, we bought and we bought the balance oil and we've, turned it upside down. We grew 51% last year, our company, Robert, globally. We went from 200 million to 362 million. So it's working. Yeah. This we did in-house. Okay. We've all heard of leaky gut.
Yeah.
The leaky gut tests on the market tell you after it's happened. They don't tell you what to do about it or if it's happening. So this test is so bleeding edge. It's measuring your tryptophan metabolism. The tryptophan metabolism. Tryptophan is the largest amino acid. It's found mostly in animal products in turkey. We've heard about how tryptophan maybe makes you sleepy around Thanksgiving.
Yep.
Yeah, slightly oversimplified. But tryptophan goes down 3 different pathways. One is the host, where it turns into serotonin for gut motility and mood, and then melatonin for sleep. The tryptophan goes down what's called the kyuranine pathway. And that is an inflammatory pathway. It's very, very, very important. If too much tryptophan goes down the KYN pathway, it can end up into quinolinic acid, which can destroy your brain. And if you are healthy enough and your immune system is not overactivated, the tryptophan can go down into your gut. And there are anaerobic bacteria, anaerobic bugs in the gut that are there because you have short chain fatty acids, which is why you need to eat enough fiber. And then this tryptophan is converted into the indole pathway. There's a compound called IPA, indole 3 propionic acid, and it crosses the blood-brain barrier. When you have high IPA, it says that your brain and your gut are talking nice to each other. So this test can tell you way before you're diagnosed with leaky gut. This test is actually a measurement of systemic inflammation, where the balance test is a proxy for systemic inflammation further upstream. Now, you combine these two together, Robert.
Yeah.
Now we have a very powerful picture of health.
Well, many people learned about inflammatory blood test associated with something called CRP or C-reactive protein,
yes.
right? Is this more comprehensive than that?
Yes,
Self-help?
totally different.
Okay.
I mean, CRP shows you that stuff's going on, but let's say you have a low CRP and you have a high omega-6-3 ratio. Overnight, your CRP can go from low to sky high because of that imbalance. So the CRP test tells you kind of when it's a little bit too late, it's already happening.
Yeah.
All of these things can help protect you because that's what we do. These aren't diagnostic tests, they're maps. So anybody that has a high CRP or is concerned about inflammation, we've all heard about inflammation, you should know your gut health index. So just like the term the omega-3 index was coined 20 years ago, we coined the gut health index.
Nice.
Now, this is my story. It's such a great story. You want 100 on the gut health index is perfect. 0 is failing. 100 is perfect. 0 is failing. Robert, I scored a 50. Wah, wah, wah.
Oh, man, right in the middle.
I failed miserably. Now, my wife scored a 94.
Wow.
Now you think, oh, she's just had a double mastectomy. She's got
been
edema. She's got
horrible
autoimmune conditions. She's got skin like Michael Jackson, but she's got the best attitude, as you know, of anybody that I've ever met. She was looking at her test the other day, 1.8 to 1 on the omega-6-3 ratio and 94 on her gut health index. And she was talking to a friend on the phone. And I heard her say, I know I feel like I'm dying, but I guess I'm not.
No, the analysis is showing she is like excelling.
Right. And why does she feel like she's dying? She's taking an aromatase inhibitor. She has an estrogen-driven cancer. The women that she knows that stopped taking the medication got it back. Okay. So it's their own choice. This is the health freedom world.
That's
We're
right.
Robert Scott Bell show.
That's right.
Right here. But for her to, and I watched her get cured. Remember, we're friends with Bruce Lipton?
Yes.
He said to me, Stuart, you seem like a smart guy. If you could unblock people's negative self-defeating feedback loops and help them wake up, then you'd be doing some good work. I remember that.
Amen.
Right?
Yes.
So what happened to my wife was she realized, wow, my cells are in balance. My gut is balanced. My gut-brain immune axis is in balance. The only reason I feel funky is the side effects of the drugs, because all drugs have side effects, especially if they work.
Yeah.
That's what I want people to know. It doesn't matter what you think you know. If you fail the gut test, here's why I failed. I stopped eating fermented food. I don't know why. It's just a dumb thing. Like you stop taking as much omega-3. So what am I doing? I'm eating kimchi again. I'm eating yogurt again. I'm eating kefir again. Because I was taking, this is our prebiotic fiber, which is 8 different prebiotic fibers, 3 different chain lengths.
Is this a powder you
It's
add?
a powder.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm leaving you this. This is my favorite supplement in 35 years of being in the business. And it's $30.
Wow.
It's my favorite in the history of supplements. It's a big statement.
Yeah.
My number one favorite, but I made such a tactical error because the big paper that came out where one group did sauerkraut and the other group took fiber.
Okay.
The conclusion was, I guess you need both. Duh.
Yeah. Of course.
So what I love about this is it doesn't matter what we know. I want everyone to get tested and then take your test results and feed them into the AI program, if you trust AI at all,
Sure.
to at least analyze this, so that we're not trying to sell anyone anything. We're educating people. We're empowering people.
Stuart, in the time we have together, it's never enough time. What if somebody wants to reach out to you directly? Is there a way that you can put it out there for them to reach you?
If somebody wanted just to talk to me, I'm more than comfortable giving out my phone number.
Okay.
Because it's your audience.
Sure.
773-914-9338. This is all I do from sun up until sundown. Text me, say I was listening to you on the show. I'd like to have a conversation about it. I'm more than happy to talk to you about it and go into a deep dive if you want.
For those that still use email, if they want to message you that way,
Stuart Tomc at ymail. That's just the letter Y, ymail.com. But if you text me at 773-914-9338, I'll get back to you as soon as possible. But go to testomega3.com and you can see all of the experts that have joined the team and more information on the test and how you get into balance.
When we talk about the first 10, incentivizing people to get also this.
The gut test, $200 retail.
Yeah. So how will they know that? I guess someone will contact them or.
Yeah, well, the first 10 people that log on to get the product, then I'll make sure that we get back to them and I'll tell them.
Okay. All right, guys. You guys check it out. This is exciting. Also, more giveaways. We've been promising for those of you guys that started your UPMA, United Precious Metals Association account. You all are doing great. If you funded it, you were eligible.
You were so right about that.
A little bit, right? I can't stay in one area.
Goodness.
But the idea was to salvage your future and your kids and your grandkids, right? With sound money, with real money. And so we're going to be doing a giveaway, Goldbacks, next hour with Michael Bolden from the 10th Amendment Center. Let's see. Any questions? Super Don, any questions coming through we need to address? I know we've got the homeopathic hit of the day. I got a question of the day, which I can put off into the second hour too. And are you able to stick around?
Yeah, I'm going to stick around.
You're doing okay?
Yeah.
Okay, excellent. This is great news. So if there's anybody that wants to chime in, let me just see if I can see if there are any critical questions coming through. I think Super Don's also got grandpa duty today. Diana of the Night says, I love Stuart's energy. Perfect for a Friday. Heart of a poet. Yes, you've read him right. Yes. Let's see. I think we've already sort of addressed this. Yolanda's asking, hi, Robert Stewart, what's the best way to take omega-3 oil? I'm convinced.
Balanced oil. And let me just explain what it is.
Yeah.
When the fluorotannins are taken out during molecular distillation, how do you get them back in? Well, they're in the marine web. You can't you can't get them back in. So the scientists that developed this had this clever idea. They got lucky. They looked at olives. Now, if you've ever read about the polyphenols in olives, I'll give you one to look up, hydroxytyrosol. It is a fat-loving polyphenol. There's like 800 polyphenols, so they're not all the same. So what they did is they pumped the high polyphenolic-rich extra virgin olive oil, 750 milligrams per kilogram of polyphenols, and then the polyphenols wrap around the EPA and DHA and sort of mimic algae. They were able to put it back together. So it's 60% triglyceride form fish oil from anchovies and sardines, made in Iceland by Lisi, been in business since 1938, made for us. Triglyceride form, not ethyl ester, with the polyphenol olive oil, and they bind it together. So think about this. Do you know anyone that would say this, Robert? I don't want the omega-3s of the Inuit that had the lowest levels of heart disease. Would anybody say that?
I would hope not.
No.
I would hope
would
not,
anyone say, I don't want the polyphenols of the Mediterranean diet?
No.
I don't think anybody would say that.
Right.
So it's the equivalent. The one bottle is equivalent to 300 pre-harvest olives and 30 piles of anchovies. This is a Mediterranean diet in a bottle. Now, I want to say this. Food first. You take that test and you score 3 to 1, 2 to 1, and 1 to 1, and you're eating anchovies and sardines every day.
Yeah.
You keep doing it. Now, nix the 6 and eat the 3. I've got one more quick story. I tested a guy, not directly, but a friend of mine did.
Yeah.
I think he was like 150 to 1. And he's the kind of vegan that only eats grapeseed oil. One of the highest LA oils in the world, which doesn't mean it's bad.
Right.
Now, I told him that you better get rid of that grapeseed oil, but he wasn't going to do it. So he talked to the chief science officer at the company. You know what he said? He said, don't listen to the bald guy. Just take the balance oil. So he just took the balance oil and he got down to 4 to 1.
Wow.
So unless you want to take your omega-6 content down to 1%, is the only way your ALA is going to convert into enough EPA and DHA.
So I don't have to feel guilty occasionally having some omega-6.
No.
Right.
And if you're going to eat omega-6, eat omega-3.
Yeah, there you go.
Anytime you eat omega-6, make sure to eat omega-3 and then test and find out where you're at. Stop guessing. Start testing.
All right, omega3test.com, testomega3.com. It's in the show notes, y'all. You can't miss it. Go to robertscottbell.com and you'll find it on the 23rd of January, 2026, first airing of this. This is going to be one of those, I think, evergreen programs when we talk about dedication to education. Having Stuart with me, I love it. You should see all the notes. Look at all the notes I'm taking here. And
And you got the memes, didn't you?
Oh, yeah.
Mix the 6 and eat the 3.
Yep.
The tissue is the issue.
Yeah. And
Which factors are the actors?
That one, the third one, I needed to get more on today.
You
And
got that,
nailed
didn't
it.
you?
Thank you. Oh, that was what I was looking for.
The right cofactors are
great.
the right factors.
Yeah. RobertScottBell.com and on Rumble. Ask RSB. The place for health, freedom, and healing liberty is right here, right now, 6 days a week, because the power to heal is yours.
The longest running health freedom show on the planet. The Robert Scott Bell Show.